Page 295. If you are hypocrites, then you live in a shadow world or hell in yourselves, the flaming or blazing fire of which burns you up from the inside. So you curse yourselves, and you punish yourselves constantly, because you do not find in yourselves and outside of yourselves any true love, any freedom, or any consonance or harmony, and no peace, just as it was with all those who came before you, and were malefactors against, or ones who neglected their duty to, the truth of the laws and recommendations of the fertilization of the life, or creation. Truly, even if you are mighty in power or influence, amongst people of your kind, or human beings, as unfair ones, or irresponsible ones, and unrighteous ones, or conscienceless ones, and if you have many goods and riches and children, you will enjoy your fate for only a brief time, because you constantly hunt after new goods and riches, and your children take ways that do not please you, and bring you grief and worries, because you spoil them with your goods and your riches, and no longer let them be granted any good guidance or education. And as unfair ones, or irresponsible ones, and unrighteous ones, or conscienceless ones, you take delight in idle or feeble speeches, although your works yield nothing. Therefore, you are lost ones in everything that you do. You unfair ones, or irresponsible ones, and unrighteous ones, or conscienceless ones, have not been reached by the tidings, like those who came before you, and did the same or equivalent as you do. And as the true prophets came to them and brought them the message of the truth, so you will also have the real truth pointed out or instructed to you by the true prophets, so that you shall not do anything that is unright. Truly, you, man and woman and child, you shall be a true friend to the other, and thereby you shall demand or encourage yourselves to do the right thing and to ban what is unright, so that you all undertake what is rightful, and show pity to yourselves in such a wise that you eschew everything that is evil and unfair, or irresponsible, and unrighteous, or conscienceless. If you as a man, woman, and child prove yourselves to be ones who are knowing of the truth, fair ones, or responsible ones, and righteous ones, or conscientious ones, then there will be gardens of love and freedom in you, in which streams of peace and of consonance or harmony, and the highest happiness flow, in which you will find pleasure. And if you, man, woman, and child, are connected to the teaching of the prophets, then you are no hypocrites, and therefore you are not at strife against the prophets, and the teaching of the truth, the teaching of the Spirit, the teaching of the life, as you others amongst you, who are unfair ones, or irresponsible ones, do in a loveless wise, because you live in a shadow world, or hell, and you have created yourselves a disparaging, or dishonorable, destiny, or decision, for acting in unright. Truly, you unfair ones, or irresponsible ones, and unrighteous ones, or conscienceless ones, you lie to, and slander, or calumniate people of your kind, or fellow human beings, and you do evil things, conduct indubitably slanderous speeches, do not bother about the truth, and then you swear that you have not said anything. Truly, you have not accepted the truth, and are only brooding on what you cannot achieve in an honest wise, and therefore you nourish yourselves with hatred against people of your kind, or fellow human beings, who have come into goods and riches through their own power. But you do not regret your wrongdoing, but rather punish yourselves painfully with further hatred, although it would be better for you with remorse, because you would create a world in yourselves which would be your friend and helper for a good existence or life, in equitableness or fairness, and love, in inner freedom, in inner peace, and in consonance or harmony. Truly, if you would make a bond with the truth and turn yourselves to the truthfulness of the laws and recommendations of the fertilization of the life or creation, then you could knowingly or consciously gain love from a fullness or abundance of fruitfulness of the primal power or creation, so that you would not have to search for alms or gifts of the life, which you do not find because you are ones who have contempt for the truth, unfair ones or irresponsible ones, and unrighteous ones or conscienceless ones. And truly, if you could, in your inequity or unfairness, knowingly or consciously gain love out of the fullness or abundance of the fruitfulness of the primal power or creation, then you would be stinting with it, and want to have everything just for yourselves alone, without giving any to people of your kind or fellow human beings, because you have an aversion to them. You unfair ones, or irresponsible ones, and unrighteous ones, or conscienceless ones, you pay back all kind-heartedness that is given to you with hypocrisy and with evil deeds. But consider that one day you will meet the truth with might, to which you must give your promise that henceforth you will only follow the way of equitableness or fairness, and no longer lie, slander, or calumniate, or be inequitable or irresponsible. Truly, you unfair ones, or irresponsible ones, and unrighteous ones, or conscienceless ones, place your trust in the true prophets, because they know the secrets of the laws and recommendations of the fertilization of the life or creation, and therefore you shall build on the confidential counsels or talks of the true prophets, because they are the best knowers of what is hidden of the laws and recommendations of the appearance or nature and of the fertilization of the life or creation. And you unfair ones, or irresponsible ones, and unrighteous ones, or conscienceless ones, do not rebuke the ones who are knowing of the truth, the fair ones, or responsible ones, and not the righteous ones, or conscientious ones, who voluntarily and in honesty give alms or gifts for the poor and needy, and do not disdain and ridicule those who cannot give any alms or gifts, because they only have the earnings from their work and have to live off this. If you unfair ones, or irresponsible ones, and unrighteous ones, or conscienceless ones, want to become fair or responsible, and righteous or conscientious, then create forgiveness or reconciliation in yourselves, and then also ask forgiveness from those whom you have ridiculed, because it is only through finding forgiveness or reconciliation in yourselves that you can take the way rightfully. If you do not want to remain behind, or persist in the old, and not continue to live in unright, then you are not allowed to remain behind the back, or the teaching, of the prophets, and sit still, or learn nothing, and remain inclined towards, or ready for, what is without law and without recommendation. And if you do not incline or bend towards the truth in its entirety, or entirely, then you will laugh little, and have to cry a lot as reward for what you acquire of evil in yourselves. You shall never turn yourselves away from the truth of the laws and recommendations of the fertilization of the life, or creation, and never fight or battle against the truth as an enemy, because otherwise you will remain behind, or not come closer to the truth. And do not be resentful if people of your kind, or fellow human beings, have done terrible things. Rather forgive them, and let everything be forgotten when it sinks into the past, so that you do not bring it back to the light of day anew, and you are not reproachful or incriminating if there is no necessity for it. And also do not be resentful if a person of your kind or fellow human being dies, and do not slander him, just as you shall not defile a grave either. Consider that if someone has died, then he or she can no longer do anything in his or her defense. Therefore, it is a disgracefulness or defilement to slander the deceased or to defile their graves. Do not be amazed about people of your kind or fellow human beings, if they have goods and riches, because it is not for you to decide whether they have worked for, acquired or inherited, or won their goods and their riches rightfully. And do not be covetous or jealous/envious of the goods and the riches of others, so that you do not depart or fall away from the goodwill or recognition for those others who have more goods and riches than you. And if a truth is disclosed to you, then do not fight against it. Rather, search for the true value in it, so that you may understand it and act according to it. And be at all times satisfied together, man and woman, when you are connected to one another, or married, so that you do not seal or close yourselves off from one another, and do not behave towards one another in aversion or weariness, and neither hating nor harming in any other wise. And do not quarrel with one another as people of your kind or human beings, because you are not of the same opinion. And do not quarrel about your goods or about your riches, because only goodness shall be granted to you as people of your kind or human beings, so that it may go well with you. Prepare in yourselves, in your inner nature, gardens of joy and of the highest happiness, so that you may have streams of true love and inner freedom, as well as of inner peace and consonance or harmony, streaming through you. Never search for pretexts if you have to adhere to something, so that you remain honest and give equitableness or fairness enough consideration. If you are weak ones, or disabled ones, or sick ones, and have nothing to give or donate, then no reproach shall strike you if you are upright and fair, or moderate, as well as righteous or conscientious, because there is no cause for scolding against you if you do rightfully, but nevertheless cannot give or donate anything. Truly, if you do rightfully in all things, then nothing will be found for you which you could be rebuked. Therefore, do not allow your eyes to flood with tears, either out of grief when you cannot find anything that you can give or donate. There is only cause for reproach for those who are beseeching you for alms or gifts, and donations or handouts, despite themselves having many goods and riches, so that they can pile up a greater store of goods and enrich themselves even more. Truly, heed, or be careful of, the unfair ones, or irresponsible ones, and the unrighteous ones, or conscienceless ones, when they want to take alms or gifts, and handouts or donations from you. Therefore you shall not lend them your ears, if they present excuses to you. They swear to you many deceitful oaths, or false oaths, that you shall not leave them to fend for themselves, but do not heed them, because they only want to deceive you. But if they do need your help in any wise, then do not hold yourselves back, and do help them. But when doing this, make sure that they do not receive a handout or donation from you, if they have sufficient from what they earned themselves. The unfair ones, or irresponsible ones, and unrighteous ones, or conscienceless ones, deceitfully swear oaths, or false oaths, to you, that you shall be satisfied with them, but you cannot be satisfied with them because of their false oath, or perjury, and their hypocrisy, because as they commit an outrage against you, or treat you banefully, They are only exploiting you. Therefore, you shall have to be concerned to clarify everything and to act rightfully, so that you are not harmed.